my previous video, I had given some details about everything you need to know about scholarship or fellowship, especially as a beginner, especially starting out, right? Just without some confusions, differences between scholarship and fellowship. So in this video, I'll be talking about certain fellowships that you should look out for if, especially this year, but it's a bit different. Scholarships is usually this year against next year, that kind of thing. They're a bit more dynamic, but this video we're going to be focusing on fellowships. All right, I will tell you their deadline so you can go make further research. I cannot, because it's a list, I cannot go deep dive into each and every single one of them. This is just a guide for you to go and make further research so that you can see that which fits you. Yeah. Okay, so my name is Chema Kaoke. Thank you so much for coming on to my channel. If you're new here, please subscribe. If you are a previous subscriber, love you. We will just get into this Okay, so first thing to remember is that fellowships are for young people, young professionals, right, to take their career to the next level, grant you access to the global world. You then have the international experience, which is very, very important. You get to work with companies that maybe you've never had the opportunity to work with in your home country. You get to work on projects that actually do matter. You know, all this kind of thing, like play on a global and an international field. First on my list is the African Comp Fellowship. Okay, so African Comp is really simply Africa is Coming, and it brings young professionals from various African countries, Nigeria, Zimbabwe, Ghana. The longest shot of African Comp is you should know how to speak English and write in English. Yes, so you can apply from a francophone country. You just need to know how to speak in English. So if you are under 35 and you have roughly about 1 to 2 years experience and you speak English, then you're eligible to apply for this fellowship. This fellowship comes in form of profiles, like job openings, and then you then apply to that particular job. Don't worry, when you open the whole page, you'll be able to select what profile you're applying to. So you'll be working with German leading companies, you'll be trained on leadership, you do the actual work, not just normal training. You also get to do the actual work. So applications usually open in February and closes in March. Then the program itself begins in November. And every information you need about this fellowship. The good thing about fellowship is that on each of this fellowship websites, you get to see the details down from when is the application, when is the interview, all the other things they will do, down to when you would arrive in the country. So on every scholarship, it's usually timed and done that way, like it's very straightforward. Then all of the skills you've gained, the idea is that when you gain the skills, you take it back to your country to develop your country. Yeah, that's it. But nobody will hold you if you get a job here and you have something tying you to Germany, right? So it's simply just a year of networking, mentorship, and all of that. So it's a 1-year program. I'm gonna do a deep video about African Comp because, yeah, of course for obvious reasons, and it is opening soon. Yeah, it's opening soon. So next on my list is the Mandela Washington Fellowship. So it is a program that is among the Young Africans. I don't know if you've heard of the Young Africans Leadership Initiative. Yes, that fellowship is like it's brought out as part of that program, and the fellows are usually between the ages of 25 and 35 and must have contributed significantly to innovation within their country, within their community. And there's a both-way exchange program. As Africans can apply to go there, they as Americans also apply to come down, like an exchange program. So I'm just going to read something from the website for you, just for you to have an idea, because I don't want to misquote. So 6 weeks at Leadership Institute, studying business, civic engagement, or public management at US colleges or universities. After the institutes, fellows convene for a multi-day summit in Washington, D.C., where they forge with one another and US leaders from the private, public, and non-profit sectors, setting the stage for long-term engagement between the United States and Africa. Following the summit, a group of competitively selected fellows remain in the United States for 4 weeks to work with private, public, and non-profit organizations. Americans have the opportunity to apply to travel to Africa to collaborate on projects with fellows, build upon connections initiated during the program. These partnerships and professional connections are intended. Anyway, application typically opens in August and closes in September. And the program starts in June. You might want to make a further inquiry about those tax timelines, right? Because if it's that way, it means when you apply this year, it's against the next year. You might want to make further research about that. The goal also is that whatever you learn, you come to your country and you implement. Yes, that's the goal. Another is the Aga Khan Fellowship. So this just offers young professionals to take up development projects. Some of this fellowship I get towards specific themes, be it STEM, be it development, be it gender equality, and all of those things, right? Aga Khan Foundational International Fellowship is geared towards development projects across the globe. If you have experience in education, health, or rural development, this fellowship might just be the one for you. This might just be the one that you should be applying for, and leave the others if that's your interest, if that's what you've always wanted to do, if that's your experience, then yeah, you should consider this. So imagine having the opportunity to work within that field on a global scale, on an international scale. Like, it cannot be only a few opportunities would match with that, especially when you're into rural development and all of those things. So remember, education, health, or rural development, then you should consider this because of the access to the wealth of experience, the exposure, the global impact. Come on, opportunities at your doorstep. So applications as well usually open in October. So the next is Commonwealth Professional Fellowship. Now, the Commonwealth Professional Fellowship is not for early career professionals, it's for mid professionals who have at least, say, 5 years of experience, looking to enhance their skill in terms of business, governance, or public administration. So if you have 5 years of experience and you want to enhance your skill within that field, then this program is for you. Now, for eligibility, you need to check the individual host criteria, right? So it's a thing. I've always said the scholarship fellowship, there's a body funding, but you are attached to somebody. That organization, that body also has its criteria that you must meet. So that's essentially what I'm saying. You need to check. So application typically opens in June and then runs for about 4 weeks. The program itself starts somewhere around February. Let's talk about what this fellowship covers. It covers your visa application fee, likely reimbursement. It covers a monthly stipend of roughly around £2,000. But if you're in London, you have about 500 extra, because it is London, right? You have to survive. And then you have roughly access to £3,000 for monthly courses, or just courses and conferences as the case may be. And you have the arrival allowance. It just makes sense. Come on, you're being paid to come over. It just makes sense. So this program ranges for 6 weeks to roughly about 3 months, and it is in the UK. The goal again is that when you're done learning, you find your way back to your country and implement everything that you've learned. Yeah. There is the Chevening Fellowship as well, very similar to the Commonwealth Fellowship. So this fellowship is more like a fully funded 1-year master's degree for those who are into development, basically. And it's also for mid-career professionals. And when you're done, you are required to go back to your country and go implement whatever it is that you've learned. And the requirements varies from one host to another host. We're not spending time on Chevening because we want fellowships that are for professionals and that they're not about school. They're more about their juicy office. Yeah, fellowship not tailored to school, more about work. Come work in a government parastatal, come work in a foreign country. And to say that I think I had not mentioned, African Compt is in Germany, Commonwealth, Chevening, UK, The Mandela Washington is in the US. Another scholarship what you have mentioned is the Tech Women. See, this scholarship is so broad because it's about women in tech, STEM, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. This is bringing women from across the globe. We're talking Asia, we're talking Central Europe, we're talking Middle East, we're talking Africa, we're talking about ah we're talking about women even in the United States itself. Them together for a mentorship and an exchange program. So it's a 5 weeks program, and during that 5 weeks, so the participants engage in project-based mentoring in companies within the San Francisco Bay Area. I think it's a very good and nice opportunity because they tend to participate in they get to network with each other, participate in events, conferences, participate in professional development workshops. They network with each other and with others. They get to travel to Washington DC for conferences, targeted meetings to conclude the program. It's really an amazing one. I think it opens. It opens in January? I know I was gonna apply for it sometime last year. It's open within November, December, January. Yeah, I think the application itself closes in January. It's something you should look out for. Close your eyes and imagine women gathered, women in professionals who within the STEM meeting for workshop, project based this thing events and all of that, project based mentorship. It's going to be crazy. Yeah, it's going to be mind blowing. So, but you need to check online for the requirements because, of course, with every program, there's a basic eligibility criteria. Yeah, so these are some of the programs or some of the fellowships that you should look out for. A number of them are fully funded, and by fully funded, I mean your visa application, where you would stay, your rent, you're being paid a monthly stipend just so you can survive, buy stuff, eat within the city. Yes. Then if you have to travel from one city to another for the program, it's being covered by the fellowship. It's not within your stipend. So long as the cost is related to the program itself. It's not like maybe transportation for something else. Like it's related to the program itself. It's mostly covered, right? So I think these are fellowships that you should really, really look out for. Fellowship just makes sense for career professionals. So if you're looking to relocate, leave your country, and you don't want to just leave through maybe school study route, like you don't want to study, yeah, fellowship offers that opportunity. It's a bit more flexible. It's not all work. There's usually like a training period, and then after the training period, then you maybe go to your host company, your host organization, and then you join them to do the actual work here. And it's more guided. So you trying to like blend into the system for whatever country you are in, it's usually easier because you're not there with other fellows, with other professionals who have left their own various countries. And most of this fellowship I had mentioned are open to Africans, and by Africans, Nigerians, Sub-Saharan Africa, West Africa, whatever Africa, all the Africa. It's just that most of them will require that you understand English, right? Yeah, that's just so. If you're from a francophone country, then you can also apply so long as you understand English. That's the point. Yeah, and I think it just makes sense. It's an opportunity for you to travel, whether whether where you're trying to go to is the US, the UK, Germany, or Netherlands. There is fellowship in almost every country for everybody. What you need to do is to really, really search. It might take you a lot to search, but then I've already given like 5 or 4 that you can even start with this year. So first thing you want to check is what the scholarship is, what the fellowship is all about, the eligibility criteria, so you know if you miss the age and the age and what else, something else, experience requirement, yeah, and then what the scholarship covers. It's very important that you know what the scholarship covers and what is required of you. Yeah, are they paying for your, some will not pay for relocation for your family, yeah, while some cover that, and some, yeah. So all of those dynamics, basically you need to understand them and also know when it is closing and stick to the deadline. Like, apply the way before the deadline. It would also help you. Yeah, if you want to gain international experience and also make an impact back home, fellowships are actually the way to go for you. And notably, each of these fellowships usually have a strong alumni network. When I say strong, a really strong alumni network, so that when you're even out of the program, you still have support from both the fellowship and previous fellows, right? I don't know if that makes sense. So yeah, the fellowship itself, the support after the fellowship itself, it just makes sense. Yeah, so this is it for this video. I hope one way or the other I've been able to help you for this video. I hope you've been able to gain one thing or the other. Yeah, so I look forward to all your applications and all of that, and I wish you success on this your scholarship journey. Yes, and I would see you in my next video. Oh, my name is Chema. My name is Chemaka. Okay, well, please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I would see you in my next video. Bye, guys.